Stakes of empire. Close your eyes and picture this. The desert wind sweeping across the Orontes River basin as the sun glints off thousands of bronze-tipped chariots, their wooden wheels groaning under the weight of warriors armed to the teeth. Here, in what is now modern-day Syria, the superpowers of the ancient world are about to clash in a thunderous battle that will shape the future of the region for generations. The year is 1274 BC. Egypt, under the rule of Ramses II, a man both feared and revered, is marching northward with an army numbering in the tens of thousands. Their goal? To reclaim the city of Kadesh from the rival Hittite Empire, ruled by the calculating and seasoned King Muwatalli II. But Ramses' ambition is not merely to win. He seeks to dominate, to redefine the map, and to ensure his name echoes through eternity. But what Ramses doesn't know is that he's walking into one of the most elaborate military traps ever set in the ancient world. The road to war, power politics, and old grudges. This war didn't erupt overnight. Egypt and the Hittites had been locked in a cold struggle over the Levant for decades. The region was a treasure chest of trade routes, fortified cities, and fertile lands, crucial for maintaining imperial wealth and influence. Ramses II, still early in his reign, had inherited this geopolitical puzzle, and unlike some of his predecessors, he wasn't content with playing defense. He wanted a legacy of conquest. His campaign toward Kadesh was a symbolic move, a king's gamble to make Egypt feared once more beyond its borders. The Hittite Empire, stretching from Anatolia into northern Syria, had already begun entrenching itself in the region. Kadesh wasn't just another city. It was a key military and logistical hub, and losing it would cripple Hittite dominance in the southern Levant. But the pharaoh wasn't the only master strategist preparing for war. Muwatalli had been watching every move, and his answer would come not with words, but with wheels and spears. Ramses marches north, a flawed confidence. Ramses split his army into 4 divisions, Ammonius, Ra, Ta, and Set. Each was named after a god, invoking divine support. He led the Ammonius division himself. The rest followed in staggered formations, days apart, believing the road to Kadesh to be clear. Here is where the battle took on a new dimension: espionage. The Hittites sent 2 men, posing as defectors, who told Ramses that the Hittite army was far away, near Aleppo. The deception worked. Ramses relaxed his guard. He sent word for his trailing divisions to hurry up, but continued pressing forward, unaware that the main Hittite force was hidden merely miles from his encampment. The trap had been set. Muwatalli had over 3,000 chariots and 30,000 troops concealed just beyond the hills. The Egyptians, believing the city of Kadesh was barely defended, camped unprepared on the western bank of the Orontes. Then came the ambush, and suddenly, the pride of Egypt found itself shattered, and Ramses isolated. The ambush collapse of the Ra division. At midday, as the Ra division attempted to cross the Orontes and regroup with Ramses, the Hittite chariotry thundered down upon them. These weren't ordinary raiders. These were elite warriors, trained to operate in teams of 3 per chariot, capable of firing arrows, wielding spears, and steering with precision. The Ra division never stood a chance. Confusion reigned. Some fled back across the river. Others were trampled or run down. Survivors burst into Ramses' camp, warning him, too late, that the Hittite army had struck. The pharaoh was encircled. His camp was in chaos. Dust choked the sky. Hittite chariots tore through the outer ring of the Egyptian lines, and the pharaoh's personal bodyguard formed a desperate square around him. It was a moment of truth. Where many rulers would retreat, Ramses did the unthinkable. He mounted his chariot and rode straight into the heart of the enemy. Ramses rallies, the last stand of Ammonius. Accounts from Egyptian reliefs show Ramses riding into battle with ferocity. While these depictions are certainly propagandistic, the underlying truth remains. Ramses did not flee. He gathered the remnants of his forces, chariot crews, infantry, even camp followers, and organized a furious countercharge. Against all odds, the Hittite chariots were pushed back. Why? Some say their units had overextended themselves. Others believe the terrain around the camp limited their mobility. Whatever the cause, Ramses' counterattack bought precious time. And then, seemingly by divine timing, The Nearan forces, Egyptian reinforcements possibly from Amuru, arrived on the field. The pressure eased. The tide began to shift. Stalemate or victory? The great debate. The Hittites pulled back across the Orontes. Muwatalli, perhaps fearing further Egyptian reinforcements, did not press the advantage. Ramses had survived, but had he won? In his official records, Ramses declares total victory, granted to him by Ammonius himself. But the truth is murkier. Kadesh remained under Hittite control. Ramses did not capture the city. And yet, the battle proved that Egypt could hold its ground, even under surprise and overwhelming odds. For Muwatalli, the failure to break Ramses may have signaled the limits of Hittite expansion. And so, the war dragged on, not with swords, but with scribes. Aftermath and legacy, peace carved in stone. 15 years later, the war between Egypt and the Hittites ended not on a battlefield, but at a negotiating table. The result was the first known written peace treaty in history, a clay and silver document that ensured mutual respect, alliance, and non-aggression. This treaty, inscribed in both Egyptian and Hittite script, survives today. Copies reside in the UN headquarters and the Istanbul Archaeological Museum. It is a relic of diplomacy forged in the crucible of war. The Battle of Kadesh would go on to influence how war and peace were understood in the ancient world. It shaped the image of Ramses II as not only a warrior king, but a ruler who could inspire, endure, and survive. So what do you think? Was Ramses II a brilliant tactician who bent fate to his will, or a lucky survivor of a devastating mistake? The sands of Kadesh may never reveal it fully, but his legend endures. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and consider subscribing to CyberTheo.